Thank you for joining us on the last day of February. My name is Jurnee Taylor, and here are the top stories we're following for you now at noon. Arkansans are weighing in on their Arkansas Learns bill, what we're expecting ahead of today's House committee vote. Plus, the Supreme Court weighs in on President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. A closer look at the debate over whether millions of Americans will see thousands of dollars in debt relief. Repair efforts are still underway after the devastating earthquakes in Syria. Coming up, how volunteers are saving animals and reuniting them with their families. But first, meteorologist Nathan Scott joins us. It is a beautiful day today, and I'm soaking it all in, Nathan, because things are changing soon, right? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jurnee. I hate to be inside right now because it is so beautiful for the last day of February. It feels more like late April, and you know what that means. Trouble is a brewing. As we take a look at temperatures out there right now, look at this. Low to mid 70s across the board. Lots of sun. Today, no weather concerns. A little bit on the breezy side. Winds kicking in from the south-southwest. About 10 to maybe as much as 15 miles per hour, but temperatures will soar into the upper 70s to lower 80s across the board. Then things go downhill. We've got double trouble for Wednesday and Thursday. The risk of strong to severe thunderstorms has crept up somewhat on Wednesday. You see, we are under a 2 out of 5 risk for a large part of central Arkansas and down to the south. But I'm more greatly concerned about Thursday's potential of severe weather, and that's because there's more ingredients in place for not only tornadoes, but we could see strong tornadoes in parts of the state. I'll have more on the potential of when those storms will be arriving and what they could produce coming up.
Today, the only thing on the agenda at the Capitol and the House Education Committee, the Learns bill. Those 144 pages will be one of the biggest changes to Arkansas's education ever seen, and it is on the top of mind of many, whether they support it or not. Arkansas Secretary of Education Jacob Oliva says having so much covered in the bill is intentional, aiming to meet the needs of the state more quickly.
This bill is about improving literacy and giving teachers support, resources, and training to do that. It really starts with making sure students have access to high-quality learning environments that best meet their needs. Focus on the students, everybody wins.
But some stakeholders are concerned it could do the opposite, and educational advocacy groups could do more harm than good. Across the board, the biggest concern is the proposed voucher program.
I think one of the worst cases, by the time we realize the damage that these voucher programs and charter schools are being done, there's not a public education infrastructure left to go back and repair the damage.
Hard as a educator to know that some of the people who need it the most will probably not have an opportunity to benefit from the voucher system.
So our concern is that you're going to be creating a class of systems. You're going to have those who can attend the private schools and the charter schools and afford it, and those who don't have the means to do so. You're going to have those. You're creating a segregated setting here.
For Bauxite Superintendent Matt Donahue, possibly the biggest support he has of the bill involves his staff, that educators would automatically make $50,000 a year. It says it doesn't offer enough wiggle room. Now, tracking progress on some other high-profile legislation now, including Senate Bill 270. It's one of several bills this session revolving around transgender people. It's also one of multiple bills on bathroom conduct, and it's up for a vote today in the Senate. Under the bill, if an adult was to remain in a public changing area or restroom assigned to the opposite sex, when they know a minor of that sex is in the same room, they could be charged with a crime.
What this bill seeks to do is if you have minors in the restroom or in the dressing room or something like that, that we're trying to prevent a violation of their privacy, I guess it would, so to speak, or exposing them to something they shouldn't be exposed to.
It will be up to a prosecutor to file any charges, and those will be classified as misdemeanors. And the bill to create the Vincent Parks law is on its way to a Senate committee. It would require police instructors to complete training to recognize and respond to medical problems in trainees. It's being proposed by the widow of Vincent Parks, the Jonesboro officer who died after training in the summer of 2022. The Arkansas House passed it unanimously on Monday. And we have a newly ratified law, House Bill 1196, which creates a work requirement attached to public housing. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed it into law on Monday, and it will take effect when the new year begins. As part of a big push from the governor to cut back on government assistance and push people into the workforce. And the Supreme Court is hearing arguments today over President Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt for more than 40 million Americans. After numerous lower court challenges, the program is on hold until the justices decide. Nicole D'Antonio reports from the Supreme Court.
Careful.
Demonstrators gathered outside the Supreme Court as justices considered two different challenges. One is by 6 Republican-led states that say the debt forgiveness program will cost them money. In court papers, they say it's a breathtaking and transformative exercise of power. The other challenge is by 2 students who say the program should do more to relieve student debt.
This is preventing people from doing what they have to do. Pay bills, start families, continue with their businesses.
During oral arguments, Chief Justice John Roberts asked the government's lawyers about the importance of separation of powers.
I just wonder, given the posture of the case and given our historic concern about separation of powers, you would recognize at least that this is a case that presents extraordinarily serious, important issues.
With respect to the role for Congress, I think what's clear is, of course, we're recognizing that Congress could take additional action if it disapproves this plan.
The justices, 6 conservatives and 3 liberals, will eventually decide if President Biden has the authority to wipe away about $500 billion in student debt. The president's lawyers are arguing the federal law grants him the power to forgive the loans, while opponents say he's going too far. Under the plan, up to 43 million people would be eligible for some federal student loan debt relief. People making less than $125,000 a year could see $10,000 in student loan debt forgiven. And people who got Pell Grants could get up to $20,000 forgiven. A decision is expected by the end of the current term in late June. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
And after Biden announced the plan last August, 26 million people applied before lower courts put it all on hold. Meanwhile, the crackdown on TikTok continues. The White House today gave government agencies 30 days to remove the video sharing app from all federal devices and computer systems. The Office of Management and Budget says the move is aimed at protecting U.S. data. Officials suspect that China is using the app to spy on Americans. Sean Henry is CrowdStrike's chief security officer, and talked about TikTok on CBS Mornings today.
Well, China wants to be the #1 superpower in the world, and they have been targeting U.S. technology, U.S. personal information. They've been doing electronic espionage for several decades now. TikTok is just another activity, another opportunity for them to gain access to people's information.
The ban does not impact the more than 100 million Americans who use TikTok on non-government devices. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill Monday that strips Walt Disney World of its long-held right to self-govern and maintain the land surrounding its theme park properties. It's seen as punishment after the company criticized the Republican governor's so-called Don't Say Gay law. Disney is one of Florida's largest employers. Volunteers are still managing to save animals caught up in those devastating earthquakes that hit Turkey and Syria more than 3 weeks ago. CBS's Tina Kraus shows us some of the remarkable rescues.
It's moments like this that bring a bit of light in the dreadful aftermath of Turkey's deadly earthquakes. Family pets back in the arms of their owners. Weeks after the disaster, rescue teams pulled this tomcat named Xena from the rubble of a building about to be leveled, making for another heartwarming reunion.
Sweetheart, where are you?
American volunteers from PETA say they've saved more than 100 pets since the quakes hit.
They came from a pet shop that was at the basement of a building that was just about to collapse.
We just found this dog in a derelict building. He seems to have a broken leg, so we're going to take him straight to the vet.
Similar missions are underway across the border in Syria, with volunteers scouring ruins of hard-hit towns, coaxing animals out of danger, which isn't always easy. Muhammad Al-Jalil says many of the cats scratch us out of fear after all they've been through. The abandoned pets are brought to shelters like this one, where they're treated for injuries and served up their first meal in weeks in a region still reeling from a month of misery. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
Flight prices are on the rise. After the break, we'll share some tips to help you save. Nathan.
Jurnee, lots of sunshine out there today. It is quiet. It is going to be a beautiful Tuesday, and then things really could turn ugly for Wednesday, but especially into Thursday as a chance of severe weather ramps up. I'll have more on that potential and details coming up.